Hello to you, and welcome to another episode of Comics in Closets with Nathan. I'm your host, Nathan Guerra. This is the show where we discuss / review comics from my ever-growing collection of physical and digital comic books. Today we have a very special guest on our very special Valentine's Day episode. It's...
Big Plo!
I like the way he says it. It's got like an energy behind it. Watch, I'm going to do it again. It's...
Big Plo!
That was too much energy, but
Sorry.
sometimes it's just, we do things. Today's episode, we will be discussing two, that's four, two, you do one, I'll do one, here we go, two comic books. Midnighter, issue 1, and Wynonna Earp, issue 1. These are our Valentine's Crush comic books.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, Nathan.
Happy Valentine's Day. Today's episode, we will be discussing Midnighter and Wynonna Earp. That's right, two for the price of none. So let's start with his pick, which was...
Midnighter.
What's the number one reason why you dig on Midnighter?
Because Midnighter got AIDS and cured it himself in 2 weeks.
Pretty cool. Let's start with the cover art. This cover art is brought to you from Aiko. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, you can blame Aiko's parents. Anywho,
Such a dumb name.
it's interesting name is what we say on Comics and Closets
It's an
because
interesting name.
we don't pass judgment on people who have stupid names. Pretty good cover art. I dig it. It reminds me of the Burly Brawl from The Matrix.
I just like how it's like a yoga pose. You know, he's spread eagle, he's doing the 2-arm gig. It's fun, and he's kicking ass.
Namaste out my way, bitch. Yeah.
Oh, got him.
What?
Yeah.
Let's go to Wynonna Earp. We're just going to ping pong it back and forth.
Zigzag.
You can never predict what I'm going to do next.
Nope.
Wynonna Earp, issue 1. This cover art is brought to you from
Laura Innes.
It's a very cool and simple cover. It draws your eye mainly because the title's Wynonna Earp. I wanted to read Wynonna Earp because I heard the comic was really good. Not because I was watching the TV series and thought that was really good. Again, not to pass judgment on things that are stupid.
It's trash.
Back to Midnighter. What happens at the outset of this Midnighter?
Well, they're at the God Garden.
Doi.
Duh.
If I recall correctly,
Yeah.
and I know that I don't,
Yeah.
how does it start?
There's all kinds of commotion at the God Garden, as there would be.
Of course,
I mean,
I read this, guys. I know what he's talking about.
yeah. Commotion City. And then all of a sudden you cut to some guy hanging out outside of Earth.
We really don't know who he is, and I think that's the point.
Yeah.
But he is obviously a bad guy.
He's very bad. And he is targeting Oakland as one who isn't from America would. Because you might think it sounds cool, but it's a toilet.
That'd be like saying, I'm going to take over present-day downtown Detroit.
Yeah. Or Chicago. Shout out to Chance the Rapper.
Not to get political.
No, not at all.
We get to meet our hero.
We do meet our hero.
So this guy is able to transport around through portals.
He does do that.
He's able to kick ass.
A lot of it. And do other things to asses, if you know what I mean.
In this very first issue of Midnighter, he has gay sex with a dude. Although I don't know how he could have straight sex with a dude, but I'd be interested to watch that as well. There's a reason. It's not flagrant. It's not flaunting it in your face like, ooh, look at sex.
Right.
I think it's supposed to establish that this dude likes to hook up.
And he's gay. It's empowering to all the young gays out there to see a gay comic book hero that can kick ass and do other things to ass.
We get to see his powers in action when he goes to dinner with his buddy.
Yep, his friend.
I'm just going to say it, his sex partner.
Yeah, his partner. That's fine.
It's pretty much their. I mean, I don't want to say boyfriend because he doesn't seem like the type
It's a
of
bit
guy
presumptuous.
to get
Yeah,
attached after.
We've only been out a couple times. We don't need titles.
Yeah,
You know,
just because we laid together doesn't mean we belong together.
Ain't that the truth?
I don't see no ring. Basically, whilst out on dinner, there is an attack.
Yeah.
And then we jump over to Wynonna Earp. And Wynonna Earp, we open with Wynonna having a talk.
A meaningful conversation, or so it seems.
A real nice chit chat.
Well, we pan down and we see her holding a gun to the head of a zombie.
And then, without a blink or an ounce of remorse whatsoever, she explodes the dude's head.
Sure does.
I mean, it's pretty graphic.
Glorious.
It's like she had an explosive shell loaded up in there,
Incendiary.
at the very least, and then like a pumpkin with some M80s inside of it.
Yeah.
Just sklaploosh.
Gapes.
We're establishing very early on that Wynonna Earp kicks ass.
Yeah.
So that is from the outset. We don't go with any sort of origin stories or any sort of flashbacks or anything like that.
No.
I'm not trying to reference a bad TV show at all when I'm saying this.
Trashy TV show.
It starts with her being badass female heroine character.
And a bad friend. Because she immediately goes and sits in her friend's car covered in muck and mire, guts and blood, skin.
She's hot on the tail of this international brains dealer, and she's losing the trail, honestly, and she needs a little help from a mysterious beringed figure that gives her detective friend a clue that later turns out to help her find a bar
Yeah.
that leads to some crazy action. And then we go over to Midnighter after the attack on the dinner
Yeah.
by these other dimensional rogues.
They look like an angry C-3PO.
These particular bad guys do get their butts handed to them by Midnighter. He demonstrates that he has this computer in his brain that allows him to basically run all of the scenarios that it could occur in any fight situation before they occur, so he's able to win them all.
Yeah.
Does that seem accurate?
It's absolutely accurate.
He also has healing abilities that he uses at some point because they blind everybody with rage somehow. So after he takes out all of these foes, if you will, he then catches word
Yeah.
through his spider sense.
Like Twitter. He reads a tweet.
It's a mental tweet. He gets a mental DM.
Yeah. So slides in his DMs. Yeah.
Someone slides into his mental DMs. So basically, you up, and he portals.
Portals.
He portals back to the aforementioned
God Garden.
Dodoy to find his frenemy.
Frenemy.
They do have a sort of, he doesn't really give two ishts about her relationship. This interdimensional hoarder has just been raided by this bad guy, an unknown bad guy.
An unknown bad guy.
In a way, we're sort of red herringed into believing that it could be his ex-partner,
Say it ain't so.
Apollo. But again, we don't know that it's Apollo.
We think it's Apollo.
We think it's Apollo.
Probably caught Midnighter on Grindr. It's like, I thought we had a thing. Why are you still on Grindr?
Just because something is over doesn't mean that it's over enough that you should be out there scrounging for some strange.
Take the time to heal, Midnighter.
It's called like respect. We live in a society.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it ends. Is it Apollo? Is it not? We don't know.
We'll find out next.
On the next one.
But now let's go back to Wynonna Earp.
Who is mid-bar.
In this bar,
She's mid-bar.
she sees this guy named Mars.
Mars. Wait, no, Mars is the other guy. Mars is the head honcho guy, and then there's this other guy. So she defeats these bad guys, saves these good guys, and just she's about to decide whether she's gonna mind wipe them and let them go knowing this supernatural stuff in the world. She gets shot in the head. Both of them, like flat out. Like Dunzo speaking, oh, you're dead. Clapped. It's pretty bad. And then we see this little shadowy figure disappear over the rooftops. Not just yet, Wynonna. I believe that there's another layer involved in this mystery. Again, another mystery. An Apollo-like mystery. Get the see how things connect sometimes. I picked Wynonna Earp because she is awesome and amazing and a badass and unapologetically kills people. It's pretty awesome. It's way better than the show, which I am passing no judgment on, even though it's terrible.
Absolute water trash. And I picked Midnighter because he can cure his own AIDS. And who doesn't want that little tidbit in your superhero comic book character? I don't know why I paused.
He got there, though. I'll speed it up in post.
Cool.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Grab the one that you love and never let them go. Under any circumstances.
Unless they want you to.
Nope. You just hold on tighter. Shout out to that special someone from me. You know who you aren't. Wink. How about you?
Restraining orders are meant to be broken.
You heard him. You still seeing it?
No.
Okay, good. This has been another episode of Comics and Closets with Nathan. I was your host, Nathan Guerra. This was...
Big Plo!
I love the way he says it. Please join us next time on another episode when we review / discuss another randomly selected comic book from my collection. And don't forget to comment with a suggestion of a comic or a comic book character that you would like me to cover in another episode. I will try and find it in my collection. If I do not have it, I will try and buy it. If I cannot buy it, I blame you, and I will find you. Don't forget, if we don't keep buying them, they won't keep making them.